Well, it's actually a good evening, and we've just gone past our normal starting time. I'd like to thank NBN for the outages at this moment of time, but we're back on the love. Andrena, you've secured Neptune. We had a really interesting conversation with Neptune last year, from memory, and it's great to have Neptune back on board and give us that last 12 months of life in general and how things have transpired living in the UK. I'll pass it over to you.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Dreaming the New Dream. And thank you for tuning in. And if you would like to subscribe to Andrena Forrest on YouTube or Jeffrey Shaw on YouTube or Radio FM, you can see our podcast that we've done over the last few years now. And I've been privileged to speak to some amazing speakers who are doing amazing things and sharing their gifts and wisdom. So without further ado, today is the 21st of November, would you believe? And it is with great pleasure that we have Neptune Shade back on the show. So welcome, Neptune. It's lovely to see you.
Namaste, all light and bliss to everyone and everything through and throughout, everything, everywhere, light and bliss. Namaste. Gratitude for having me back, please.
Well, I know you've got lots of wisdom to share. And so today we're just going to go with the flow, whatever comes through. And we've opened it up to any of our listeners if they have any questions. So hopefully we'll have some unusual questions. So really, I suppose what I would like to say to you is perhaps some guidance and awareness on where we are now in these challenging times, because we know everything is shifting and clearing and moving so fast now. So where would you like to start in just sharing from you coming on when you were on last, to where you are now? What else are you putting into place? How are you helping people and helping humanity? So there's lots of questions there all in one. And I know you'll cover it all in different ways. So where would you like to start this morning?
With awareness. Without awareness, we sort of remain slaves, victims, chattel, livestock, commodity, lost, confused, programmed, conditioned, indoctrinated, drunk under trickery and illusion and inversions, perversions, diversions, subversions, etc. So awareness now, we have been distracted away from awareness. We have been separated and divided away from awareness. This is a generational something. This is something that has been apart from being generational, it's been systematic. It's been ingrained.
Now we see you. Now we do. I can hear a hum, Jeffrey. There's a hum going on now. I don't know who's got this. I can hear it in the background. I think we're going to have fun today. Sorry, but
so with reference to the to those facts, the thing is to be able to identify, hey, only me is on my side of my fence. I alone am responsible for what's going on my side of my fence, my intentions, my attention, my thoughts, my words, my spells, my tone, content, consistency, my delivery, my behavior. Only I am responsible for that. what is going on in the world at the moment, it ties into what occurred on the 19th of this month, 2 days ago, where Pluto went in the constellation of Aquarius, which kind of astrologically, cosmically, locks in the one of the final pieces of cosmic or astrological puzzle to bring in the golden age, the age of Aquarius, which is sometimes referred to as the which can be referred to as the golden age. And solidifying the fact that we are in a different era. We are in a different age. It is no longer a patriarchal age. It is no longer an age where man is in control, or things, or we are dictated to, controlled, etc. In this new age, we are required to engage differently, behave differently, process differently, communicate differently, express differently, do things differently. The awarenesses around those things to make the transition up into this age, because it's a higher vibrating age, a higher vibrating space, a higher vibrating energy. The transition into this age requires awareness so that the transition would be smoother and easier and clearer and more coherent, more comfortable, etc. And we are responsible for availing ourselves to that.
So really, we are our own guru, and it's not looking to anybody outside of ourselves. We're completely responsible for ourselves, our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings, all our triggers. It's all back to us.
Yes, please. And with that now is the awareness to reframe triggers into treasures, because triggers are treasures. Triggers are illuminating that, hey, something requires attention here. Hey, a different type of responsibility is required here. Hey, a different type of nurturing or cultivation is required here. Hey, a different type of healing or expansion or development or maturation is required here. That is what triggers do. Triggers illuminate where something is required, or something more is required, or something different is required. Triggers are treasures.
That's a nicer way of putting it, I think. I just realized, I think the sound I can hear, I think it could be the freezer down here in the kitchen. So apologies for that. I just thought, oh, I think it's the fridge. Never a dull moment. Right, sorry about that.
All good and good.
Yeah, so it's getting people to take responsibility for their thoughts and their actions now.
Yeah, bringing that awareness, because self-sovereignty entails taking responsibility for everything on my side of my fence. Self-sovereignty entails, and it isn't limited to, self-responsibility, self-accountability, self-discernment, self-care, self-development, self-expansion, everything we allow into and out of our mouths, everything we allow into and out of our thoughts, everything we allow into and out of our fields, self-sovereignty, we alone are responsible for that. And where we at now, everything everywhere is supposed to be a bit diseased, a bit uncertain, a bit confusing, a bit dramatic. It is reasonable. Not only because we were born into a war-ravaged world, because when we got here, we met disease here, we met infection here, we met polarity here, we met engineering here. We are no longer supposed to be reacting to it. It is not ours. We met it here. Why are we reacting to it? Why are we still reacting to it? Why are we taking it personally? Why are we making it personal? Why are we being judge, jury, executioner, punisher about it? Why are we arrogantly defending it? Why are we taking ownership of it and dragging it on our side of our beautiful fence? We are doing that. No one else is doing that.
Do you
It's
think,
supposed to be like that.
yeah. Do you think people are having more of awareness now that they are responsible for themselves and it's not what's going on around them, it's listening to your intuition? Do you think there's a more of a change, like more of an awakening or more of awareness, so, you know, happening now more than ever?
Yes, I am. Based on my current lifestyle, my new narrative, I've experienced and observed that our awareness is growing, is expanding collectively, and what accelerated that is the past few years of this global medical emergency, whether regardless of whether it's planned or not. That has brought, that has triggered and stimulated awareness and self-responsibility and self-awareness in loads of different ways and states and I guess layers and levels.
Right, there was a couple of comments come up. Right, Carol says, reaction and creation have the same letters. They just need rearranging to transform things.
Beautiful, appropriate, because in both instances, it's a form of creation or expression or creativity. Well, loosely, because with everything, something is created, and is the fact there is to be able to slow down, breathe, and be, and to be able to identify everything in slowing down. You're likely to be present. Once you're present, you're likely to identify everything for what it is, not what society says it is, not as per programming, conditioning, indoctrination, trickery, illusions, etc., but and as per what it is. And in identifying it for what it is, as an alchemist, as a self-sovereign, as a creatrix, as light, as the amazing souls that we are, we can alchemize, transmute, or reframe it into something beautiful, into something nutritious, into something nourishing, into something developmental, into something that will get us closer and faster and easier to where we ought to be, which is within ourselves, as it relates to our authenticity. Everything leads us to authenticity. Everything leads us to a higher state of being, should we choose it. We could choose to react. We could choose to take it on board as a student. We could choose to see victimhood, see slavery and its results and effects. And we could choose to take that, honor that, because it contributed to where we are now. And where we are now is likely the best place, our best self, the highest vibrating versions of ourselves. You could use that and transform everything, anything, into something that serves our highest and greatest good, or a higher and greater good. That's a choice. It is possible. We are capable. We have the tenacity. We have the capabilities. It is within. Slowing down, breathing, and being is an essential key to facilitate access to the awesomeness that we are, that we have within, that we came here into this world with.
Yeah, because with, you know, it's like it's always coming back to the breath, isn't it? You know, when people have an accident or they fall over or a shock happens, the first thing is to get them to breathe and to calm down, and otherwise they're, but when you take the time to sort of sit and breathe, brings you back into oneness, and you're in a different space, and that's what it's all about. If the breath is, if you haven't got your breath, well, you're not here, are you?
It brings you back to self, brings you back to center, brings you back to your lane, brings you back to your natural, authentic alignment.
Oh dear. Oh God. Yeah, so for people that are sort of having more of awareness that they are in control, or they don't really understand when things happen to them, the treasures, as you say, and people react. And so in the past, like you think, oh, flip, and you'd react. So how would you, because I know there's lots of things going on that are not of the highest good. How would you, what would you say to people to deal with the trigger that is a treasure in dealing with whatever's coming at them?
Appropriate. So we stick with facts, we work with facts, we remain with facts. Facts. We are light, we are aspects of light, which we are gifted and inherited from the Almighty Source. Light is energy, a form of energy. Light cannot be broken, damaged, or destroyed. If we are light, then we cannot be broken, damaged, or destroyed. And if we cannot be broken, damaged, or destroyed, which is factual, then we are, one, students of that light. And we could shine. We could only shine brighter. Light shines. So we could only shine brighter. And we know, not only us factually being light, aspects of light, we are alchemists. Facts. We are creators. We are self-sovereigns. Facts. Then we are students of all those things, because we are now coming into those awarenesses. We are now availing ourselves to those awarenesses. Hence, we are students of those awarenesses. So we are learning to slow down. We are learning to learn. We are learning to access healthily. We are learning to learn, remember, integrate, and apply all those awarenesses we are now acclimatizing to. So in those facts, which are facts, we can, as a creatrix, as a creator, as a creatress, as an alchemist, we can reframe anything. We can alchemize and transmute anything into anything. We can choose to, as a student, take it on board, respect it, not particularly accept it, excuse me, respect it, and take it apart, assess it. What is the lesson here? Where are the gold nuggets in this? Where is the energy medicine in this? Where can I do better? Where can I do more as a result of this? What is this mirroring or reflecting? Where is the loop, pattern, habit, behavior, cycle, routine in this? What can I do better? What can I do more? And engage it healthily, respectfully, responsibly as a student within honor and integrity, within natural laws. You engage it with the intention to first learn it, because if you don't learn it, you will not know what it is or how to engage it. You will likely repeat the old. So you first intentionally, mindfully engage it with the intention, with the mindset, with the attitude to learn it. After you learn it, you likely would sit with it for a bit, sit in it, tinker with it, experiment with it. And in the experimentation of it, or the assessment of it, or the processing of it, those processes helps to reinforce what the lesson is, what the newness is. And in that, it is easier to integrate. In the integration process, you will eventually apply that new awareness, that new lesson, that new newness. And in the application of it, in the integration of it, after you integrate it, you apply it. In the application of it, you highly likely will experience a higher vibrating experience. And then you rinse and repeat. From that new experience, from that higher vibrating experience, you are going to have a result. You learn from that result. You repeat the process. You sit with it for a bit. You experiment. You reinforce it. The experimentation of it will reinforce it. And in the reinforcement of it, you integrate it. You integrate it. You apply it. You experience an even higher vibrating experience, and thereby the old low vibrating loops, patterns, habits, behaviors, cycles, etc. are no more. And that is a way to upgrade and to upgrade, because when you break something, it can't come back to part. It can come back together. So that way you upgrade present and past life and ancestral loops, patterns, habits, behaviors, cycles, etc., routines, etc. You upgrade that. That is one way you holistically, mindfully upgrade and self-evolve, self-expand, etc.
People don't realize that I've got the headphones on because I'm listening to the radio station. It goes free to air at the radio, but also simulcast on the YouTube and Facebook channels. Neptune, while I'm listening to you, I really feel I'm drawn into my headspace, yeah, and I feel I'm not getting the full value of all the wisdom, knowledge that you're sharing. And it's come to my awareness that your abilities is more genuinely for people who are within your proximity, where you can actually use all your, not only it's your emotional body, and I'm really feeling that that's where your strength lies, is doing group work where people actually see you, can feel you, and get the energy from it. It's, for me, listening, it's one-dimensional. It's coming in, and I'm just wondering how we could adjust that so that I can move into my emotional body to feel what it is that you're actually expressing, because I know that you're giving us gold nuggets, and I know it's in my headspace, but it seems like I'm tuning out, and I've just wanted to bring my awareness to you, and where we could take you to the next level of getting that message across, because what you got to say is unbelievable. It's just need to be in your presence by the feel of it.
And can I just add, I was just going to say the same, because I totally understand all what you're saying, because you are a wizard with words, and I know what you, but for the average person, well, how can I put this? For anybody that's new or listening in or starting to be more aware, this is like, wow, there's just so much coming from you, which is all words. So, and that's what I was thinking. So how do we come back to, the words are wonderful, but feeling more and dealing with the emotion when you're talking?
Appropriate gratitude for those awarenesses or those perspectives, please, guys. Factually, we work with facts. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. When the consent only when the individual is ready, only when the individual is receptive, they will receive. I am not responsible for anyone's receptivity.
No.
I am responsible for communicating me, communicating my truth, communicating my authenticity, communicating my essence. That is my duty and responsibility. Amongst that, my duty and responsibilities, I am responsible for communicating my authenticity clearly, coherently, respectfully, gracefully. That is on me. I am not responsible for how I am received. I am responsible for how I communicate. That aside, it is reasonable that everyone have a different level of awareness, a different level of receptivity, a different level of identifying stuff, processing stuff, integrating stuff, etc. That is reasonable. That is those things are factual. The thing with that is, if the individual is authentic and serious and ready and receptive and hungry about their development, about their expansion, about their evolution, they are going to slow down. They will eventually slow down, breathe, and be receptive and discerning. The thing with learning, we all weren't aware that there is a process in learning. In learning something, you first identify the lesson, and then you observe it, you study it, you tinker with it, you turn it inside out, upside down, you familiarize yourself with it, and in those processes, it reinforces the integration of it. After you integrate it, then you apply it, you experiment again, a different level of experiment with applying it and observing the different results in applying it. And as a result of the results, it builds trust and confidence to integrate the lesson or the new awareness even more. And in so doing, the application of it is more confident, is more authoritative, and thereby is the learning cycle and an elimination of the old loop patterns, habit cycles, etc. The thing with learning now is it's lots of memory recall is involved in learning now. So it's not just learning, it's remembering some of it. And it's not a head thing, it's not only a head thing, it's not only a mental thing, it's not only an intellectual thing, it's also an intuitive thing. It's a heart thing, whereby it's on us now to learn when we are being intellectual about something and when we are being intuitive about something. It is on us now to learn when we are being emotional about something, or when we are being intelligent about something. It is up to us now to learn where we are resisting something or where we are receiving something. It is up to us now to learn why is there a resistance? Where is that resistance coming from? What is this resistance teaching me? What can I do beautiful about this resistance? That also applies to receptivity. Why am I so receptive? Why is it so easy to connect with? Where is that coming from? Why? And to learn these bits and bobs and to do something beautiful about it, to upgrade it. So with reference to me being me, the essence or whatever it is that flows through me that I facilitate, those who are ready will receive it. Those who aren't ready yet are going to likely, probably resist it. And that's great either way. It's great. The communication is here, the facilitation is here. And for those in the future, they can repeat it and have it there and sit with it for a bit and say, okay, not now, go carry on with their bits and bobs and come back to it. Or their higher selves, their spirit teams, their ancestors, the almighty source, etc., will identify whether or not they're ready for this and will bring them to it. will guide them to this, etc. So resistivity or receptiveness, either way, is reasonable. We are learning as we ascend higher and more into the age of Aquarius, this Aquarian age. The veils of this trickery and illusion, programming, condition, indoctrination, trickery, confusion, lost, lack, fear, all those veils and programs are going to continue to dissolve, and we will continue to access more of our superconscious, more of our higher selves, more of our authenticity, and receptivity is going to grow in a healthy way, and cognitive dissonance and will dissipate, will get less and less. So it's a rise because it's a balance. So as we continue to avail ourselves to more awarenesses, to higher vibrating awarenesses, to more clarity, those veils or those programs that are running in the backgrounds will dissolve, will alchemize, will transmute, and receptivity, identification, processing stuff will get easier and easier. It's important to be gentle with self, with the process, be gentle with the resistances, be gentle with the receptivity, and mentor yourself, mentor self through it. Say, hey, yes, appropriate. However, we're working together now to work through this. I'm holding my hand, we're holding each other's hand, and you're communicating to the resistance, to the trauma, to the confusion, to the drama, to whatever it is. You're communicating with it, to it. You are mentoring it. Hey, it's appropriate. Gratitude, you contributed to where I'm at the moment. However, we are doing things differently. We are working together, head and heart, emotion and intelligence, intellect and intuition. We are working together now to upgrade. We are working together now to take responsibility, to upgrade, to expand, to self-evolve, to self-heal, to self-realign, whatever it is with self. We are working together now, patiently and compassionately.
Okay, stop there. I just want to bring some awarenesses to different teachers. One of them is James Redfield, who wrote the book Celestine Prophecies. And he came to Australia and he was in front of 7,000 people and he was articulating. But what happened was the whole audience, the energy just dropped. And his wife, thankfully enough, stepped up, told James to step back. And she then did some little brain gym exercises and brought the whole energy back up. And then she then proceeded to give the talk. And the reason that she gave the talk was that she was emotionally connected to a voice. And those 7,000 people really felt the knowledge that was coming through from the wife and not from James, because James was coming from a headspace. That's number one thing that I've observed from a teacher. The second one, it has taken me 30 years to deprogram myself from going to high school, where I was sitting there in the classroom writing notes down, and so my whole attention span dropped. But when I realized I had to deprogram myself, I never took any notes. What I was doing was in the vicinity of the actual facilitator, and what was going on was I was emotionally connected to the facilitator because I was reading their energy. I was actually embracing the actual words because they were speaking with words that they had felt and experienced, and it came out. So I didn't have to take notes. And my point I'm making was I was emotionally connected to the facilitator through the energy and the aura that they came out and spoke with. And one of the things I have learned that in a big group, you always project your voice to the rear of the room, because when you do, you embrace everybody in the room. But then I want to move to the next level of understanding. and that is that if you're in a major demarcation dispute between the union and employers, and you can have all these different personalities come in to speak, and what they normally do is they send in a person who speaks in a monotone, and when they speak in a monotone, it just puts people to sleep, and then all the bickering stops. Once they get to that point, then everybody breaks for lunch or they break for a cup of tea, and they come back with new enthusiasm. What I'm really saying to you, Neptune, is that your knowledge that you've got, I'd rather be in your presence, and I would really then feel you stepping into your power, because here I am, and I speak to so many people on so many levels of knowledge every day because of my business, and I just felt inspired to sort of say to you, I think you could really up your level of awareness, and you could teach to thousands. And I'm just giving you an understanding of where I could be of assistance to you. That's where I'm coming from. Yeah.
Received with gratitude, Jeff. Gratitude. To complement that, what you've communicated there, a few things. One, learning how we learn. It is on us to learn how we learn and to develop those skills or those traits. We ought to be able to learn how we learn. We all learn differently, some visual, some auditory with sounds, some with their hands being practical in it. So the key there is to learn how to learn how we naturally learn, not to impose something on ourselves, to literally slow down and breathe and be. And in that process, you're observing, you're listening with your heart, you're listening to you. You're observing you. You're observing your loop patterns, habits, cycles, behavior. You're observing and studying with the intention to learn, why do I do this? Why do I react like this? Why do I act like this? Why do I engage like this? Why do I deliver like this? Why do I receive like this? And you learning you. You are the student. The old you is the guru. So the old you, you're learning from the old you. And you, the present you, is the student. So apart from learning to learn, you are learning to, before you engage anything, you create a mindset, you create an intention, you set an intention. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? What do I intend to receive by doing this? What do I intend to convey by doing this? What is my intention? So you set your intention, you create a mindset before you engage anything. You, for instance, you're going to a seminar to learn something. So you set the intention to be open-minded, open-hearted, receptive, discernible. You setting the intention to use your intellect and your intuition to navigate whatever that seminar facilitates, to serve you, to serve your higher and greater good, to serve a higher and greater good, to allow, not just allow it, to reframe it, to alchemize it, to transmute it, to serve you somehow. So every time you engage anything, it is your duty and responsibility to set your intention, to set your boundaries. I am only going to learn and be fulfilled with this. This is only going to serve me. And you set that intention. You hold that intention through and throughout that experience.
I understand the visual, the audio, and the feeling. I'm just saying I've taken that to another level where I'm actually reading the actual energy of the person who's facilitating it. It's almost like their higher self is downloaded into them. I'm actually reading the downloads that's coming, so I know there's authenticity. I mean, I've actually stepped back and asked, is this woman coming from a right space? The next second, the beautiful big blue royal orb comes down and superimposes this woman, and I can feel the energy, and I think, mate, she's giving me the truth. So I'm just giving you an understanding that, as I've remarked, you've got so many gold nuggets coming here, and it's coming into my intellectual brain, and I'm trying to process it and feel it into my emotional body. So anyway, but it also means that you've been great to respond to, and you've actually, you've done an extremely good job to explain how you deliver the product, and you're not taking offense to my conversation, and I really appreciate that.
A pleasure, Jeff. Jeff, also, you've also just communicated a solution, or a solution that works with you, which is slowing down. Once we mentor ourselves to slow down, not just slow down physically, mentor ourselves to mentally slow down and breathe and be, we can observe almost anything within that's going on around us. We can intuit and sense almost everything that is going on around us because we are present, because we've slowed down, because we've actually literally slowed ourselves down, and hence our receptivity increases, our awarenesses, our is on point, it is ready to go, it's there, it's active. So you will consume whatever is going on, whether it's consume it through your ears, through your eyes, through your senses, through your mouth. You will consume easily, and that consumption will be clear and coherent because you've slowed down, because you're at peace with you, you're at peace within you, everything in you is in one place, so you can navigate and investigate and research, etc. So yeah, slow down.
Okay, so let's come to the common language of English, and every country where English is spoken as their mother tongue, and then you've got countries that it's a second language, and quite often, the French see the English as up them. The English see the French as up themselves, and the French see the English as bloody boring and stodgy. So the actual the frequency of the verbalization that comes across, it stops people from actually being receptive from listening to what's actually being said. Have you come across that in your travels?
What I've learned from my travels thus far is everything has its language. Everything has its local language. Even within each culture, there are subcultures, there are sub languages. And that aside, that likely to be a bit too general at the moment, making it more personal, more intimate. Trauma is a type of language. Fear is a type of language. Guilt is a type of language. Joy is a type of language. So in slowing down, we would learn each other's languages, where they're at, where their current conscious state is at, where their current developmental and evolutionary stage is at, how much shadow work they've attended to and not yet attended to, how much personal development they have and have not yet attended to, with their impulse control, intuitive reframing, spiritual evolution, how much of that is attended and not yet attended to. Once you slow down, you are going to identify the individual, where they are, regardless to their background and experiences. You will identify, you will learn where they are, and you would learn how to communicate to them where they are. Not condescendingly, respectfully. You will learn a key in learning is a key in communication is active listening, open-minded, open-hearted, objective listening and observing and studying and learning and then communicating coherently, respectfully, compassionately over to the individual or intended recipient based on their language. It's not about you. We are the facilitators. We're here to bring ease, to bring more light, to bring this world. That is our duty and responsibility. In order to do so, in order to facilitate that, whether it's a casual or professional relationship or intercourse or conversation or whatever, you slow down, you mindfully slow down and intuitively listen and observe, where is this individual at? Where are their current conscious states? Where does their receptivity lie? And in identifying those things, in learning those things, you communicate to them based on where they're at. That works throughout. For me, that has been working consistently beautiful throughout all languages and cultures and demographics. That's been working for me, and I've been guiding on that.
Well, because I'm an international business and I'm speaking to people where English is a second language, what I've noticed, and I concur with you, when you do slow down and you're listening, what actually happens, you can see them with their words constructing a picture, and telepathically you actually see the picture and you know intuitively and instinctively the subject matter which they wish to get across. So we're opening up a different form of communication here. Is that something that you've noticed in your travels?
To complement that, please, also in listening, you learn where the individual is at. You learn in listening and observing the individual or the intended recipient based on their words, their choice of words or spells, their content, their tone, their consistency, their body language, the way they gesticulate, if they gesticulate in their communication. You would learn where they're at, because different cultures communicate differently. Something in one culture likely be offensive in another culture. So you observe everything about them. And in the observation, every form of communication illuminates where the individual is at, where their current conscious state is at. Any form of communication illuminates where the communicator is at. So again, slowing down, observing, studying the communication, the individual, the communicator, the intended recipient, and you will learn where they're at. And in learning where they're at, you will alchemize words to reach to where they're at without condescending or disrespecting them, without bearing any dis-ease, in a manner in which they will easily receive what you intend to communicate.
Andrena?
Excuse me. One of the thoughts I wanted to ask you, I can't remember it's when we spoke or when we were on the show, and you said something like things are happening to you, not for you, or things are happening for you and not to you. I've forgotten which way around it was now. Because you know, like when things happen to people and they say, well, how could that happen to me? You know, blah, 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 blah. But you know, there's logic behind it, isn't there?
It is everything is happening through us, for us. It's not happening to us or at us anymore, because we are choosing to no longer be victims and slaves It's not happening at us or to us anymore. We are students and we are facilitators. We facilitate things through us. Most of the time, we are not doing anything. It is happening, occurring, being expressed through us. We are not taking it personally anymore. It is not ours. The only thing when we leave here, what we're leaving with is two things really: our experiences and our lessons. That is ours. Everything else is happening through us, for us, through us, for us. So everything now, we are looking at it, we are alchemizing it into a lesson. It is it's not permanent. It's never permanent. It's never personal. It is not personal. It is not permanent. It's a lesson that we are traversing, that we are working through, and we are capable, we are indestructible, we are infinite, we are students, we are learning this, we are slowing down, we are choosing to mindfully slow down, to work this through, to work through this, to allow this to work through us. We're not holding on to anything anymore. We're not dictating, controlling, micromanaging anything anymore. We are learning to flow with our flow, with our authentic flow, not with what society says, not with what religion says, not with what academia says, not with what everything else says. We are learning us. We are slowing down and holding space for us, for our procedures, for our processes, for our usness, for ourselves. And hence it's happening through us, for us, because that is what we're accepting now. We're not accepting anything else. Any form of acceptance is a choice, free will, to each their own. There's no right or wrong or good or bad choices because of free will. It is what it is. We learn from the results. We choose to learn from the results. We go through that learning process. We integrate that learning. We apply that new learning. We have a higher vibrating experience, or we could choose to repeat the old choice.
Well, I don't think I've got any more questions to ask you. So, because I know you travel around and you work with lots of groups and you work with lots of individuals. So, have you got a list of where you're going to be talking next? Is that all on your website? What sort of you got? What are your next sort of movements over the next few months? What are you up to?
There are a lot of things that are coming up based on the acceleration. Things in this world have accelerated. And I have, there are quite a few things that I allow. I usually don't plan stuff. I allow it to flow.
Right.
I have trained myself out of the habit of planning and planning stuff. I have trained myself into, yes, taking charge and allowing the flow to flow, honoring the flow, respecting the flow, working with the flow, working with my teams, with my ancestors, with my guardians, guides, with the Almighty Source, with nature, with the accelerated ascension and descension processes, with our accelerated liberation and restoration processes. These things are moment to moment things. So we ought to be as open and as free and as detached and as objective as possible to facilitate whatever flows now. So yeah, I'm flowy.
Totally in the moment.
Excuse me?
I said you're totally in the moment.
Yes, as much as as possible. Yes, as much as practicable. Yes.
Yeah, because obviously you know, with different things, you can be in the flow, but sometimes you sort of got to have plan things ahead to a certain degree.
Yes.
But
there are lots of dates
but
and,
yeah,
and appointments and as they flow. Quite a few things lined up intellectually and intuitively. There are quite a few things that I have been aspiring towards, that I've been working towards, and there are quite a few things that has been brought to me intuitively, non-linearly, and simply being as objective as possible to accommodate everything.
Did you want to say something then, Jeff?
Well, I just liked your journey, starting off in the Caribbean as a police officer, and then you know, getting a tap on the shoulder from the spiritual realm, and leaving the Caribbean and coming over to the UK, and starting a new journey and in the UK with your spirituality and your mediumship. So, talking about mediumship, does that basically mean that these emails that I just put up before and their phone numbers, the people, can they ring you and book having a session with you? I mean, did you have the mediumship skills of passing on information, knowledge, and wisdom from the ancestors?
I have been ordained. I have been I've been visited by several non-physical and physical beings from different places, spaces, and dimensions, and certain things were gifted to me, certain things were availed to me. I was presented and was shown loads of different stuff. I've been gifted different types of knowledge in the past by non-linearly, that is. And when I was 22 thereabout, it was intuitively communicated that I was a priest, and in my later years, it was communicated what I am and what my skill sets are, and what's going on in the world, who is doing it, why it's being done, where it's being done, why it's being allowed, etc. And what I've learned is at the moment, it seems as though I'm able to identify infection, disease, light, awesomeness in individuals in their different bodies, fields, states, layers, levels, dimensions, densities, etc. And what I am, the I am that I am, is able to, in partnership with my teams, we are able to identify what the dynamic is, where it's coming from, the root of it, the whys of it, and how to communicate that to the individual where they would be receptive without triggering them, without untowardly triggering them, without condescending or disrespecting them, or anyone or anything for that matter. And facilitating and holding space and guiding for different types of shifts, different types of transmutations, alchemizations, alignments, realignments, reframing, etc. At the moment, I with everything that I am and my experiences and the results and lessons from those experiences, I am able to guide and advise and consult on almost any topic, to find almost any solution or remedy to almost anything at the moment. That is what I've learned recently, confidently learned, that what I am, where I'm at. And everyone has that capabilities, that tenacity, should they choose. And it's a work in progress. It's a developmental thing. And yeah, I have been writing. I've written since we last connected. I've facilitated. I've self-published 5 ebooks, and I've been doing a lot more posting stuff that is intended to trigger and stimulate awareness, different types of awareness around self-responsibility.
While you're talking there, you know what I got for you? I got you as a human architect. So the person comes in and you look at them from an architect's perspective, and you become the builder, the plumber, the electrical, the bricklayer, the carpenter. You know, you come in and you actually rebuild the structure of the human being.
Yeah, I've learned that I'm proficient at identifying disease, infection, and light, and it's easy as a passion to facilitate the reframing of it, the development of it, the nurturing and cultivating of it. I thoroughly enjoy that. I thoroughly enjoy that. It's I could do that now whilst I'm asleep. I could do that whilst sleeping now. It's so much easier now. I've dedicated a lot of attention and energy and life force to develop those skills set, those attributes, those strengths, whatever they are.
Andrena?
Well, I have nothing else to ask you, because obviously I've been tuned in listening to you, and you know, you come out with such amazing words and wisdoms and you know, things that you're processing on many levels. So it's been great to have you back again. So is there anything else you'd like to share before we complete the session?
Yeah, I would like to please re-emphasize that guys, we're in a different place and a different state at the moment. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to be diseasing. It's not personal, please. It's not personal at all. It is in our favor. It is working for us. We are being provoked to come out of our comfort zone. It is important to come out of our comfort zone. We have been complacent. We have been ignorantly complacent to the extent where some of us are still struggling with cognitive dissonance. We're holding on to a program, a conditioning, some sort of indoctrination that isn't ours, and we have been arrogantly defending it. We've been stubborn with it. It's important to let go. It's important to let go for a bit. It's important to detach for a bit. It's important to slow down. It's important to breathe. It's important to self-care. It's important to go within for clarity, to go within for anything. That charity begins at home. It's important to learn. It's important to learn to mentor ourselves. It's important to learn to avail ourselves to ourselves first. It's important to learn to check in with ourselves first, to check in with our teams first, with our guardians, our guides, the Almighty Source, our super conscious. It's important to check in first. It's important to be aware that nothing is personal. We're not taking anything personal anymore. We entered a world that was war ravaged. We have been struggling with all sorts of programming, conditioning, indoctrination, trickery, illusion. We are, more than most of us, are exhausted of being exhausted. The exhaustion comes from holding on to something external. Some of the exhaustion comes from taking on board something that isn't ours and holding on to it. Some of the exhaustion comes from not slowing down, Some of the exhaustion comes from reacting to something that isn't ours. Some of the exhaustion comes from reacting to the dis-ease and the dysfunction and the depravity and the polarized polarity and the engineered confusion, the engineering that is here. We have been reacting to that. We have not been aware that we've been reacting to that. These things, we met it here. It is not ours. It is not yours. It is not ours. Mind our beautiful business. Stay in our awesome lane. If it is not awesome, mind your business, stay in your lane. You are awesome. We are intrinsically awesome. Facts. Stick with facts. You're awesome. Maintain awesome intentions. Maintain awesome thoughts. Maintain awesome attention. Maintain awesome words. Maintain awesome tone, content, consistency. Maintain awesomeness. We are awesome. Be loyal to our awesomeness. Do not leave. Do not abandon our awesomeness. Mind your business. Stay in your lane. Your business is awesomeness. Your lane is awesomeness. Factual. Why deviate? You deviating is your choice. That's a you thing. You are responsible for that. Take responsibility, action responsibility, breathe, eat, sleep, defecate responsibility, self-responsibility. Remain awesome. You remain awesome. You remain high vibrating. You remain high vibrating. You infect everything you intercourse with high vibrations. You infect everything with light. Infect with light. That is the type of infection that is required at the moment. Not to infect something with your dis-ease or with your confusion, with your low vibrating nonsense. It is not nonsense. It is something that you require working through. That is important and sacred for you. You take responsibility, you slow down, and you mindfully work through it. There is something beautiful there for you. Awesomeness ought to be the priority. Awesomeness ought to be a staple, and that is how we raise the vibrations within us, without us, around us, and throughout our family, throughout our communities, throughout our nations, and throughout the world and the collective. Charity begins at home. In order to do something beautiful in this world, we require doing something beautiful with ourselves first. Find our awesomeness, stick with our awesomeness, nurture and cultivate our awesomeness, feed our awesomeness with our life force. Maybe consider no longer feeding the external with our life force. But oh, this happened, this one said this, war is here, suffering. There are soul contracts and soul lessons to be fulfilled. They are energetic or karmic, whatever karma is. There are energetic lessons and contracts and vows and agreements to be fulfilled. None of your business. Your business is to mind your business, stay in your lane, and feed you your life force. Feed you your attention. Feed your awesomeness. Feed your awesomeness to yourself. That is the priority now. And that ripples out. That is a domino. That is the domino effect that we prefer now, not the old low vibrating stuff. We're pioneering awesomeness now. That is what is required. We pioneer awesomeness after we confidently develop that awesomeness that is within us, that is intrinsically us, that is innately us. Awesomeness, which is an aspect of light, and we are light. So be light. It's a choice. Effective choice, free will. Namaste, guys. Gratitude for having me here. Sincere gratitude. Please, light and bliss. Light and bliss.
Oh gosh, I just wanted to say, when you said about mind your business, in the long time ago, people say, "Oh, mind your own business," and that's literally what it is: mind your own business, nobody else's.
Yes, please, and minding it, literally, actively minding it. It's like a child. You're nurturing and nourishing and guiding and caring for that child. because we are students now. So you're minding your business, you're minding your attention, you're minding your intention, you're minding your thoughts, you're minding you, which is a significant component of self-sovereignty, self-accountability, self-responsibility, self-care, self-development. Mind your business. Stay in your lane. Stay in awesomeness. Yeah. It's not rocket science anymore. It's not rocket science anymore. Mind your business. Stay in your lane. Choice. Or you don't, and the all is repeated. The all is perpetuated. And you doing that, there's the results of that. There are consequences for the results. And we are the bearer of those consequences. We will be held accountable for it somewhere, somehow. We are responsible, please.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I just love listening to you and your sharing. So no doubt we'll have you back again later on. And what's Carol put? And mind your mind before it gets mined by others. Say no more.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in this week. And it's been lovely to have you, Neptune. Thank you, Jeffrey. And same time, same place next week.